What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of No Client Agent Privilege, aka No Cap Podcast. Your boy Evan, your boy Will. We are back into the Tiki Hut, and we've got another fun-filled episode of basketball, finally some football, and even transfer portal, and even a little tennis for you today. So let's just dig right into it right now. I mean, it's all finally said and done with the 7-team trade with KD, Clint Capella, all the draft picks here, there, and everything. So I think we've already talked about it before too. And, Houston being a second seed last year, what is Houston's, goal? Like, is it championship or bust, or is it just,
I don't see why not.
I mean, it's gotta be.
You go from second seed this year, a great team, young team. Now you bring in KD,
right?
Veteran presence.
He's supposed to be a generational player.
Right. So, you add Clint Capella, defense with Dorian Finney-Smith.
Yep.
Clint Capella's been there before.
Right. That too.
From the James Harden days. But I look at it as, like you said, a championship or bust. Like, give it 2 years.
I can't even give it that. Yeah, I don't even think I give it either. If it doesn't work this year, it better work next year.
Yeah.
At the
fool me once.
Yeah, exactly. Like, see, I think that's another thing too. Is like, and then don't get me wrong, I understand from like a fan's perspective too. Like, you want to win now, but it's like, yes, you still need a year to get used to other teammates, players, stuff like that. But it's like kind of like the KD to Golden State kind of routine. Obviously, Steph is a lot better than a lot of other guys on Houston. But with regards to the same mindset, getting it done, getting the job done, you already won.
Right.
As a second, like you made it to the second seed, and the West is very good. So it's like the West got better, and now you got better. So you need to do either as good or better. So if you're not the second seed and you go and you make the first seed, so be it. Then you still got to go through the Thunder. Now you got to go through Dallas, who's they're ready to go.
Even the Spurs, if Wemby plays, I don't even know what the story is with that.
I missed that.
Well, the blood clots.
Oh, the blood clots. Yeah, that's like the same. It's the same thing with Chris Bosh, but I heard it's not as severe, or like where the clot is not as severe as it was for Chris Bosh. Supposedly, I haven't really dove deep, but I did hear that as well.
The Nuggets probably regressed a little bit
for sure.
I think the Wolves regressed a little bit.
I mean, Memphis is not scaring me.
Right. But it's like the Wolves, I wouldn't say got worse, but they didn't really do anything to get better. Same thing with the Nuggets. So it's like the Rockets were already that second seed, but now you throw Dallas back in the mix. They were a play-in team this past year.
Right.
Right.
Well, you really just switch everyone except for OKC and the Thunder at this point. I mean, everyone.
OKC
or the OKC and Houston.
Okay,
like that's what I'm saying. Like, other than them,
right? The rest
you can go 1 and 2 between the two of them, but everyone else is, it's a jumble.
And again, that's what we think. Maybe Houston had a better roster. Like, it's Kevin Durant. So
well, I
can't say that, but like
we can say chemistry wise,
always greener on the other side.
And the Suns found that out.
I'm gonna say. I'm not sounding like I'm not trying to sound like a hater, but
the Suns found out the hard way.
You gotta mesh. So,
right.
Like,
if there's no chemistry,
2 years.
If that second year is not in the championship, then that's a failed project. I don't care what anybody says. I really don't care if you're trying to say, oh, well, the chemistry, this, that, and the other. Look, you've got one of the best players of all time, a top 20 easy type player on your team, and you're telling me that the team that you had that went second, you traded a few pieces, you added a few pieces, you're saying that this team can't do the same as that?
Right.
That's what you're trying to say?
Right.
I don't believe that.
Well, especially with the additions.
And the coaching staff, you gave your guy a huge extension. He's supposed to be the future,
right.
Udoka and all that. So it's like, come on. Time's. But again, that's what I'm saying. 2 years, boom, championship or bust? Yes, I believe so. I mean, if I don't have a championship my second year, I'm like, all right, next we need to move on, because you had a future with the Thompson, and
he's still there. Jalen Green.
That's it.
Jalen Brooks. I mean, that's really it.
But I'm saying,
like, you had a whole lot.
No, but I'm just saying you had a future.
Jalen Green
you had a longevity with all them. So like that's what I'm saying with Thompson, Dylan Brooks, and Jalen, you at least had a 5 to 10 year picture of what could be. That's all.
Right.
I mean, because KD, year 3, if you ain't won a championship by then, it's probably
he probably might retire.
That's hell yeah. Definitely possible. I mean, who knows with KD?
On retirement, the future, all that. We look at Dame now. He got released.
Yep.
He's still getting paid.
Right.
That's nice. But where do you think he might fit in? We'll go there first, and then the situation's unfortunate, but
where does he fit in? I mean, the Achilles is just such a terrible injury to come back from because you never truly know if you're going to come back 100%. So
you're going to do my boy like they did Isaiah Thomas?
No, not like that, but like Dame's getting paid. So it's like, does a team really need to go out of their way to put him on a roster where they might not even see him for 10 months?
Nah.
I mean, not really. I mean,
so next year's problem?
I guess, yeah. What am I rushing to sign him for? I mean, no. Would I love to sign him for a deal that makes sense to my team?
Team friendly.
Hell yeah. You tell me this year I ain't got to pay you.
I got to pay an agent, though.
Well, of course, I'm fighting for him to be like, yo, we'll be back in 9 months, 6 months, 7 months, 4 months, whatever I got to say.
You want to be paid in full.
I mean, basketball-wise, I always get paid because the contracts are always paid out. So that doesn't really matter. Milwaukee's finding that out.
No, but you're saying you want to.
But I want to make sure if I'm going to, let's just say the Heat. If I know I'm not playing this year, and I know Miami is team-friendly deal, initiatives, like they want their guys to understand that the culture is more about the team. That's fine, and I accept that as of this year. But if next year I come back and I do what we're supposed to say, we do a 3-year deal and I have a 3rd-year player option, that 3rd year, I want the ability to ask for what I want. That player option is supposed to be there for me. To stay and sign with a bigger bonus if I want to renegotiate, go to free agency, stuff like that. But again, for me, I want to look at it from, like you just said, from the agent perspective. I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place. How am I supposed to negotiate? Not in good faith, but with leverage to make my client and put him in the best position. That's probably the hardest part from his agent's perspective. As big of an agency that they are, I believe he's with Octagon, I want to say. I believe so. Them or Wasserman, either one. But huge agencies. Still, to fight an Achilles 9, 10 months injury, 12 months, if it, any hiccups, probably not seeing him back. When was that? January, February that it hurt?
No, it was the first round of the playoffs.
So it was March?
Yeah, it was April.
April?
Yeah. Late April.
Late April,
early May.
We're talking. I mean, you're not even going to see him for the playoffs because you won't rush it. So, so again, if Dame really wants to, I mean, I'm getting paid for Milwaukee. I don't know why I go and rush my season to sign with a team, other than the fact that I want to be able to use a facility, or I want to find a home that's going to give me an opportunity to build the last, back end of my career. So. If I'm Dame, I'm finding the team that I want to leave my legacy. Now, I did my legacy in Portland, and I didn't really get anything out of it. I built myself. I got some good.
So he wants a ring,
right? So now, what team provides that is going to give me the opportunity to, let's just say, sit a year,
right?
But also give me the opportunity to grow and get some money on the back. It's the hardest part.
You're looking for a team that will take you,
right?
A, and then B, they have to be a team that is on that rise, that you really could bet on them being a championship contender the next year or two after he comes back.
If I'm him, I'm going to Dallas.
They got Kyrie.
Right. So I sit behind Kyrie for the year. What's the matter? You pay me.
Dallas has the money for all that?
I don't know. I'd have to check their cap. But, I mean, at this point, who cares?
Right.
I mean, at this point, if I'm Dame, I'm either going to L.A.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
I want to go to L.A.
Because LeBron probably plays one more year.
Yeah, finish out the season. One more year with me. Dame will make him stay one more year. He'll also get Bronny and Bryce.
Bryce Maximus.
So you'll get all 3.
That's funny as hell.
And Dame to run the point. I think that, you take LeBron at the 4. Bryce at the 3, Bronny at the 2, Dame at the 1. That'd be legendary. I mean, not legendary in the sense that great basketball players, because we all have figured out that Bryce is probably the best baller out of all of them. But like, I would like to see what Bryce does at Arizona this year, just to see how because like it's not like Bronny truly did anything in college. Like when he played Auburn, like they smacked them. Like, and they had what's his name too, Collier. Yeah, and they both got thrashed by Denver.
So transfer portal, college. You bring up college. I bring up transfer portal. You want to dive into the new?
So
portal?
the new
What's going on?
So just started July 7th.
Okay.
So today is the first day of the official portal. It goes until August 15th, I believe, something like that. But it's the one and only. There's no more spring. There's no more winter. Like, it's it. So like this portal, because of the NCAA versus the House, or House for the NCAA, whatever the lawsuit was, because of that lawsuit, it gave the ability to kind of etch stuff in stone, not necessarily
for every sport,
everything, just transfer portal, period.
So every football, basketball,
I believe all NCAA sports, all
good.
Sports.
That's what they needed. Free agency
is done. Yeah, so now we have a real free agency.
All right.
So from now
on, it's not as long, but still.
Well, you shouldn't. In all honesty, you shouldn't be that long, and you also shouldn't get that much time to scout and kind of like.
That's what they're doing all year.
Well, see, that's what I'm saying. You see guys in the middle of a season having baller seasons. They're sending that recruit, that scout to go. Hey, go next game. Go watch him. See if you can go talk to him, or something. Get it. Get at him. So things like that. It gives you a less of an opportunity to go get them, because now you're gonna have to wait. So it doesn't really matter. You can go and track them and do everything. But at this point, everyone has that info. It's not like it's hidden. Like oh, I didn't see them play on TV. You can go on ESPN and find any school, any team across the country, and find kids that have breakout seasons, stuff like that. So it's not as hidden as it used to be. A decade ago, 2 decades ago. So like scouts have it pretty easy now with regards to being able to go find a diamond in the rough or something like that, where they can go and build. Say they're very weak, injuries, whatever it be. That next transfer portal, if they already know time and date, they can set it all up. They know how many days until that transfer portal opens. So
they want to go after. Just make your boards and make your picks.
It's literally free agency. Like everyone
that's good though.
But see, that's the thing.
If this is the way it's going to be, then
it is.
You got to adapt.
Here's the one I think major thing is. I don't know if they got implemented yet, but you get one free transfer, other than a coach leaving and stuff like that. You can always transfer. Say you go to school and you just have bad luck. Coach fires, coach gets hired. Coach fires, coach gets hired, or coach leaves. If you're that player, you should have the ability to transfer whenever you want. That I believe. My coach leaves me. My coach gets fired. I don't want to stay at the school. I don't want to be here anymore. Let me go. Let me transfer. That's fine. I agree with that 100%. Now, I'm chasing a bag type transfer. That I believe comes down to one. You get one transfer off of that. And I don't know if that got solidified or not, because I believe that is still the biggest detriment to the college game as of right now. Transfer every year. 4 years, 4 teams. Now, on the NFL standpoint, I don't trust the kid now. Right. Now, obviously,
and the extra year shit is done.
Is it?
Or is it? Not yet.
I don't know. No, I think the Juke. No. Because it's saying the COVID one.
Yeah.
No, that's done. Yeah, that's done. Okay. I thought you meant the JUCO one. Because if you go JUCO, you get 1 extra year.
Right. Okay.
That's because of the Vanderbilt kid.
So what? JUCO and then 5 years of
4.
Okay, so
because you lose one from JUCO.
Oh, you used to lose one.
I believe so. Yeah, because your timetable is started already. Right. So, but again, even still, either way, that's I'm fine with JUCO. 1 extra season. That's fine. But my thing is, again, if you transfer, and again, I think people said, oh well, when you sign to the NFL, you're on a 3-year contract anyway, so you don't really have much of. That might be true, but my thing is, as a transfer, I'm showing non-loyalty towards a team, or not non-loyalty, but I'm basically just showing all I care about is the money and not developing as a player.
Mm-hmm.
So if that's the case, and I'm trying to build a team around you, say you are a top recruit, or you are, but yet you're going here, you go to Oregon, then you transfer to Alabama, then you transfer to Iowa, and then and I'm trying to compare you, and I'm trying to see if you progressed here, progressed there. Oh, that was Big 12, or that was Big 10. Oh, that was SEC. Oh, that was Big 10. Like, I'm trying to compare you and see how much better you did on a scouting perspective. If I'm a team, I'm going to have a hard time trying to grade you. I'm going to have a hard time saying, I don't know if this kid knows this playbook. I don't know if this kid learned what he was supposed to learn. If he has his technique good, sure, maybe. That could be true, no doubt. But has he got his head in the playbook? Did he learn what the coaches were trying to teach him other than the on the field stuff? The hardest part about transitioning is not necessarily a skill set. Most guys that it's literally the mental side. You transferring 3 out of 4 years does not give me a good, feeling about you that you went in.
No,
you learned 4 different playbooks or 3 different playbooks. Whatever it may be. Is that really the kind of guy I want? Now, again, Jackson State, Dion, transferred with Travis Hunter, goes, learns 2 playbooks, offense, defense, transfer to Colorado, offense, defense. Special kind of player. Different. You're going HBCU to Division I. Sure, okay.
But it's also like offensive playbook, defensive playbook.
Oh, then they're shortening it down for him too. Like, he's in coverage, and all they go is, what's that mean? Lock it up. Take him, lock him up.
That's true.
It's that simple. Like, in defensive scheme, sometimes if you got your best player on the field, you just go, hey, lock him up. Like, that's it. That's as simple as it can get. If you're not trying to, like I said, he did it all in a special case. But again, every kid cannot think that they're like that. And again, if you don't put the transfer portal in like this, and also put in a rule that, hey, look, you can only do this once, then, so be it. I believe it went through. I don't remember what exactly the rules were.
Yeah, no, that's great. That sounds great. I mean, I guess, on that topic of football, transfer portal, because we were talking about primarily football. Are you excited for, the Hall of Fame game?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just
Chargers. Who cares? I mean, like,
I think everyone says, like, who cares? But it's like, people, I mean, we really do care. Like, I mean, honestly speaking, I know nobody really likes that game, but it really is like, oh, thank God, football's back. I feel like that's every year. Like, every year it comes back.
It's just like, it's like a little sprinkle, then you got to wait a couple more weeks.
Right. It's just a little taste. But week 0 is right around the corner. Like, there's a lot of stuff coming. It's not like we're really that far. I mean, I think, like, what, college football, 9 Sundays away? Like, that's really not that much time. Like, that's really not that long when you think about it, because once everyone goes back to school, once everyone gets back into football, like, time started going by. All those preseason games, you think 3 weeks, and all of a sudden you're into your regular season.
Yeah, exactly. And then we're going to be back here talking about the Super Bowl.
Right. That's how quickly it goes. I mean, look at us, like we said last year, how quickly the football season went. Like, literally, and that was another thing with the transfer portal. We were talking about how the season was over and kids were getting dipping out because of the transfer portal.
Right.
So it's like,
or the season wasn't even over.
The season wasn't even over. Hey, I'm done. Yeah, I'm done. I'm out. Like, I'm out. I'm not just transferring. I don't want to play the bowl game. I don't want to play the playoffs, whatever.
Kids sitting because they didn't get the money, or
because they didn't get the money. Yeah, I mean, we've talked to. We brought in. I mean, look at Jerome and Marlon. Who talked about it. What is it going to lead for? The loyalty to the game is kind of out the window.
Exactly.
So, I don't know. Again, I think there should have been rules. There should be rules. I mean, this is one of those things where I believe the transfer portal is definitely a one and done type thing. Like, one transfer. Other than coaches leaving, firing, whatever, I believe if your coach that recruited you told you to come, if he gets fired, you can leave. Other than that, though, I mean, the transfer portal, I understand chasing the bag, but, like, I don't know, man. It's just like one of those things where, I mean, professionalism is now the only thing that matters because there is no amateurism.
You're right. The other side of that, though, is if the kids do only have one transfer to go and get more money, let's say, which is still fine, but schools will be less inclined to pay them as much, because if they know that either they're going to have that kid on the team or it's going to be
Well, that's
one
where
time.
a real good agent really comes into play.
Sure.
Like,
but then on the other side of that is most of these contracts for the NIL money is prorated, right? So you're not getting it all at once.
Well,
You're
so from
getting
what
it
I've seen,
on a season basis.
well, yeah, you get it on a yearly basis, of course. I mean, that's any
You're not
contract.
getting everything.
Right. I mean, you're also saying there's probably clauses and stuff from what I've seen there. I've heard FSU's been having some crazy clauses in theirs, player contracts and stuff
But
like
that's the
that.
way it should be if they're
Right,
going to expect this type of
that's
money.
the other thing. If you're expecting an FSU that has plenty of it. I mean, Doc is getting a whole new facelift up there. So, Doak Campbell's about to be something crazy.
Right.
Not that it already wasn't. I mean, Doak is one of the premier. I remember
College
still being in
stadiums,
shock when I first saw it years ago. But again, when a program like that has the bankroll that they do have, and I'm talking like hundreds of millions at
Right.
their disposal. Texas, Alabama. You're telling me I can't get a $2 million contract? Come on now. I'm a 3-star recruit, 4-star recruit, coming out of South Florida. I'm your bread and butter, baby. If you sign me, you're gonna get the 5-star behind me. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
right.
You know what I'm saying? So
I
like
agree
for
on
me,
that. No, I'm talking about more so the transfers.
well, that's what I'm saying. You got to go in with that same mindset. Hey, so let's just take a small school kid. So say FAU, kid goes to FAU, smashes all their receiving records. Beats them all. Coach Carter, Chris Carter, one of their receivers coaches brags about him. Highlight reel, just name it. Punt returner, kick returner, does it all. What am I? I have all these accolades, but I'm coming from FAU. Who goes to bat for me?
Agent. No, that all makes sense. I'm just saying that
it's just a matter of what do you bring to the table. It's It's leverage. It's the same as a free agent.
No, but leverage. That's what I'm saying. I think that if it is one transfer, then the schools have more leverage now.
For sure.
Like,
no doubt.
This is your one and only transfer. Like, we don't.
Well, again, you
unless they're
if you're transferring, what should you be transferring for?
To play the game.
Well, to get better.
Exposure. Oh, well,
to get
okay.
better.
Yeah.
Say that's what I'm saying. If I'm transferring from FAU and I'm going to FSU, why should I be transferring from FAU to FSU? Bigger lights, bigger games. You would think better coaching.
Better competition.
Aces,
just better.
Just better. Period. And it's no disrespect to FAU by any means.
No, it's just a
matter of fact of what it is. It is what it is. And if I'm going up there and they're offering, my leverage is whatever I made at FAU, I want to make what I deserve being an FSU player. So again, having that leverage towards, okay, look, I made $60,000 at FAU.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I did 2 years at FAU. I've got 2 more years at FSU. I'm going to give you those 2 years, and I'm going to be one of your best receivers of all time.
Mm-hmm.
I might not be the best receiver of all time, but I'm going to be top 5.
Mm-hmm.
Because you see my stats, I did all that at FAU, and I'm going to do that for your team too. That's your leverage. And that's how you have to go and pitch it. And that's how you have to go in and be like, look, I love FSU. I love what you guys provide. I had this many offers, blah, 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 blah. I'm choosing you guys for 2 years, for the rest of my career. I want this much. And if we're saying the salary cap to $20 million, depending on what that dispersal is between players.
Well, that's just the revenue sharing.
That's just revenue sharing. That's what I'm saying, though. That's what you're earning, though. That's where you're getting your money from.
They can give out more through NIL, no?
No. That's gone now.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
$20 million?
No. That's just the cap right now. There's other ways
a year.
Right.
There's other ways to get around it. Though.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Okay.
But it's not the same. Whereas like the collective and stuff. So those are gone.
Yeah,
those are gone now. So what I'm saying is when you're going to negotiate, you're going to negotiate through the rev share.
Okay.
That's what we're negotiating with. That's who we're going to the school and being like, look, we know the 5-star that you're bringing in is making, let's just say $80,000 for the first year. I'm already 2 years in. I've broken every record at FAU. I want to make, 120 the first year. $500,000 the second year.
Uh-huh.
That's it. Now, if you believe you're more than that, but you can have the accolades to kind of go with it, sure should be an easy pitch.
Mm-hmm.
Give me $500,000 this year. Let me do $500,000 the next year. Yeah, that should be your pitch. So
that makes sense.
the play to play is kind of there, but like it's not really there because you already played. I already played. So it's not really pay to play. It's I played. Now it's time to get paid. So those are really the transactional descriptions you want to go in if there is a one transfer rule.
Mm-hmm.
But again, at this point, I don't remember if that actually went in. I just remembered that being the topic of discussion on multiple like talk shows, podcasts, stuff like that. Because it is a whole nother thing. It is transferring once is a big deal because it does give the school leverage for sure. It 100% does. Can you use it to your advantage though? Going from the small town or the small school to the big school, of course. How do you do it though? That's on the agent and what you gave me. Like Dylan from FAMU, the cornerback that was injured that we talked about.
Oh yeah.
Okay, he's playing at FAMU. He called me up. He asked me, what do I need to do? I'm like, you need to ball the fuck out. You need to have a great season, and then when you do, you can get the hell out of FAMU because everyone knows it sucks and he hates it, and then we can go right down the street, FSU, knock on Coach Norvell's door, be like, I'll just move down the street. I'll play DB for you for the next 2 years if there's one transfer portal.
Right.
Or one transfer per player, I should say.
Well,
yep.
If we want to talk about some tennis.
Yeah, real quick. We can finish it. Wimbledon, world-renowned Wimbledon.
The Wimbledon, I want to get to just a little rundown, and then we'll talk about our, playing on grass, and then obviously summer league. But
go ahead.
Just what's going on. Ben Shelton, the youngest men's player to make it to the quarterfinals since 2004. That's pretty cool. He's up and coming American player, which is also kind of a big deal.
We don't have anybody.
Yeah. Those two are really leading the pack for the American side of men's tennis.
Mm-hmm.
And then Dimitrov, injury, up 2 sets against Yannick Sinner, who's just coming back from, a couple months now, just coming back from his suspension. So, obviously, people regard him as the world number one.
Right.
So, he moves on. And then you have your mainstays, Djokovic and Alcaraz.
Yep.
Who I'd love to see either of them win. Alcaraz is probably my favorite tennis player right now.
Right. I think he's a lot of. I think he's a lot of people's favorites right now.
He's just really likable.
Yeah.
I'm Italian. Sinner's Italian. I don't really like him. Especially with the whole suspension. I think he should have been suspended longer. Especially as the world number 1.
6 months.
It was 4 or 6,
something like that.
It was whatever it was just in time for him to get back.
Right.
To the French Open,
of course.
Which was kind of stupid in my opinion.
I agree.
You're not really setting a good precedent. But anyway.
In tennis, yeah.
Anyway.
They never did.
Grass. It's always, I feel like, a topic of conversation. That's really the only tournament. It's a premier tournament with grass, right?
Yeah.
And from what I've heard, it's harder to make your moves.
Right.
You play closer to the net when you're on grass.
Right.
It's harder to... you can't slide, I guess. It's more you could trip.
Right.
A hard court, you see them sliding. I don't know how they do. Honestly, how
they actually predict themselves to slide like that because the
grass is just
they don't wear cleats.
Right.
There's no cleats. There's no gripping. So it's not like the same. The ball doesn't bounce the same.
That's it. Right. The ball can't bounce the same on grass.
No. So again, and then we talked about it a little bit earlier, but our client Malkia, when I watched Coco leave first round, I was just so amazed, not because that Coco lost, but because of how different of a play Coco was playing. How much different she looked compared to literally a few weeks ago at the French Open on clay. It was literally night and day. And Malkia was just if you don't play on grass, it is so difficult to kind of get your game going.
Clay has a little bit more give.
Yeah, that and
my bad.
That's all good. But also, not only the give, but also just the way the ball hits, it drops quicker. The bounce is not as high, so you got to get lower. So if you are a long, rangy player, it is going to be a difficult game for you because you got to get a little lower. You got to get your hips a little down. Like, so a lot of stuff that, and again, watching Coco kind of, again, not get slaughtered, but she got beat pretty bad. And again, if you're really that good of a player, I guess I can't say because I'm not a tennis guy, but like football, turf, real grass, you feel a little faster on one sometimes. Some nice grass, you can feel a little better on hit. I don't know, you just don't really feel that big of a difference. But according to Malkia, it is literally like night and day. Like, it is completely different.
Even like with clay, there's more give.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
You think about the ball, like, because football, turf, and grass, like you said, like, but that's just, obviously there's positioning and
right.
But
I'm just saying
with the racket and more hand-eye coordination, I'd say, and the ball bounces. Like, that's the biggest thing, I think, that the ball definitely bounces different.
For sure,
if it's
100%.
Clay, grass,
no doubt.
hard court. You go between those three. Obviously, hard court, the ball's going to bounce the highest,
of course,
the strongest. I'd say clay. I haven't seen a clay or a grass court, but I'd say it probably bounces the least on grass, and that's why they play closer to the net.
They definitely do.
Different
you can definitely see in Wimbledon. A lot of guys attack. I mean, girls too. A lot of them attack that first net, like that first volley after. They go right to the net
and
to try to get to that.
Perfect sense.
No, it does. But if you can't play that way, like Malkia, she plays that way. She's super aggressive to the net. So when she goes up, she is like almost like, not to say sprinting to the net, but she attacks the net off the volley because she knows her long, rangy arms are going to be able to get to that volley faster.
I mean, the good thing is Coco's young.
We just don't have grass courts in America. Like, we really, that's not really our thing. Like, we don't play like that. Growing up down here, we have hard courts. We don't play clay. Like, that's it. Like, and it's understandable. And a lot, like I said, watching her and hearing the announcers kind of like advocate how not playing or playing off of the French and winning that, how much time she really had to get ready for grass. It really did make sense. And how big of a difference, I guess, again, for me, not realizing how big of a difference it really is.
Just to give her a pass.
No. It's legitimately, like, you could see how much better some of the European players were who are used to playing on grass turf and playing on grass. You could definitely tell that there was a huge confidence factor in some of their hits versus what I saw from some of the players that don't play on grass like that,
just
especially at Wimbledon, obviously.
A lot of players from Spain, you look at Rafael Nadal, even Alcaraz has started carving a name for himself on clay courts.
Right. That's what they love it. They love it. It's bread and butter for them.
That's just what it is.
Right.
Finding, you can't find, like, you could find a niche in tennis if you really want to, but most of the courts, I'd say, that they play on are hard courts, so you definitely have to get used to that.
Right, agreed.
So that's that. Wimbledon is finishing up probably quarterfinals now. Yeah, it'll be done Sunday.
This weekend,
this Saturday, championships, and then we go to Summer League.
Yeah,
Vegas this weekend.
Yep, this weekend
for
Denver,
for the agency and for Denver.
Yep.
If you want to, talk a little bit about that, with your mentality going into it, and why it's important to kind of be there every year.
Yeah, I mean, really, at the end of the day, it's not only for Denver to obviously support him through the agency and things like that, but it is the Mecca. I mean, we've seen Shams there. We've seen every GM is there at least at some part of the weekend to view and delegate and deliberate on their draft picks, free agents, young guys that they've sent overseas to come back, undrafted free agent, everything.
Even overseas coaches and scouts,
everyone
and executives.
You're talking about
just networking,
right? Well, I mean, the biggest thing, and we've always talked about this, and I've preached this to you throughout the career. Your network is your net worth. So without that, we're talking not only do you need to be around these people, but you need to be able to show who you are. So it's like, oh, we met at Summer League. We met at dinner. We met at the casino. Whatever it may be, everyone is already there. So whether or not it's a matter of getting Denver into the right place with regards to, marketing deals, saying hey to a different GM that he didn't talk to, whatever it may be. It is legitimately just right place, right time. And sometimes, we found that out last year between the podcast episode that we did, that just we didn't even know that they were having a facility. We just walked by, saw it, and said, "You got a slot? We'll take it. We'll take it." Yeah. So that's really, again, kind of one of those things where it's like, do you legitimately have to be there? No, of course not. You don't have to be anywhere.
No,
but it's like you want to be able to be in a spot where everyone is going to be, because you know how hard it is to get some of these guys on the phone, and then two, just to have face-to-face time, just in generally speaking. Not even that to
so
say
busy.
Yeah, not to say that Denver isn't somebody worth talking about or talking to, a GM or whatever, whoever's there. It's literally the ability just to introduce myself, the agency, the long-term effects of, hey, such and such is now the GM of, the Miami Heat, the New York Knicks, whatever. This game changes ever so often, but when the change do happen, it's usually pretty big. It's usually a kind of a circuit of coaches that get hired, and then maybe one young guy gets bumped up.
Right.
And then that's kind of the circuit. And then they get into the circuit. Like we talked about Mike Brown, he was part of he's in that circuit. When a head coach gets fired, what do? They just recycle and redo.
Doc Rivers.
Yeah, again, until
Thibodeau, even
until somebody young, like the OKC coach, comes in, builds their way up, finally gets in that circuit. Because if he ever gets fired from OKC, I guarantee he'll find a job the next day.
Oh yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. Like guys like that, the ability to work their way up and then make a name for themselves. So now even Udoka, fired from Boston, Houston, boom. Like that's it. That's all it is. So again,
even for some bullshit too. Well,
I know. I agree. No, I agree.
For stupid. Stupid as in like you shouldn't have been doing that. Not like stupid as in the team was stupid for doing that. I understand the reasons.
Yeah.
But exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
Or like a Budenholzer or a Rivers, they don't have great seasons, but they still end up finding something.
Exactly.
So yeah, but Summer League, we've talked about it before, is a great networking opportunity for the business side. It's
if your career path is trying to be
opportunity for the players.
If you're trying to be a basketball anything, like if you're just trying to say you want to work for a team, say you just want to get into a video room like a Eric Spoelstra or something, the least you could do is show up to one of those European events, the workouts, just to say you want to scout somebody, and then you build a scouting report on them, and you send it to all the teams. Be like, hey, look, I went to this event. I did some recruiting. I did some scouting. I want to see, I just want to send this to you and give you my perspective. Now, they might not, read it off, or, they could look at it and be like, oh, yeah, you know what? We thought the same thing. Thanks for the info.
Mm-hmm.
Or you could find a diamond in the rough, and they could be like, wow, how did we not see this guy?
Right.
You could be him. But again, if you're not out there and you're not seeing it, most of that stuff isn't going to be put into paper. Now, maybe you get lucky on IG where somebody posts something and you catch somebody. Again, there's plenty of opportunities because of social media and stuff. But for us, for me, being out there, just saying, hey, showing face, making sure nobody forgets who I am. Because again, in the agent world, I'm one of 500 and something NBA agents.
Which is a lot considering like how many people are in the league.
Do the math real quick. Do
15
times 30. What is that? I can't do math off the top of my head.
Like 450.
So there are more agents.
There's more agents
than players. Not to mention Clutch, Wasserman, CAA, Octagon.
Rosenhaus? Oh no, they don't do basketball at all.
They were in Reef Simmons. I don't know if they still are, but they were. Because that's where I took Jason, Drew's brother. I took the NBA exam with him.
Okay.
So they did get it for in Reef. But you take those five, those four, they're probably about 60%. They're more than 50% for sure of the entire league.
It's tough.
You know what I'm saying? Like that is a wild. Like if you really think about it, that is an absolute monopoly. Well, I can't say it because they're four separate. But again, between me or us, in
Right.
generally speaking, to have one player in the NBA on a active roster is a fucking win. Like, that is the only way you can
Even
look
the
at it.
NFL, to be honest, a lot of those guys only represent
There's,
one,
I think,
maybe two players.
I want to say, I think I'm wrong. I think there's 600 and something active agents in the NBA.
NBA or NFL?
NBA. I want to say there's more than NBAPA, NBPA. Let's see. Google how many. That if you go to that agent directory, it'll be so. There you go.
Over 600.
Over 600 agents.
Well, I mean, people want to be an agent, so they're going to try.
Of course, and that's where.
And being an agent just means what? You took the test, you passed it.
Right, and again, even
you pay
how many times have we had this conversation of like, how do you stay being an agent? You signed players. You sign players to teams. Like those, if you're not doing that, then you're not an agent. Like if you're not signing players or signing players to teams, but vice versa, you need to have players before you can sign them to teams. So if you're not doing one of those, you can't do the other. So again, for an agent side, being at this event, walking by the right person, being out at the right time, showing face, being the guys, it's kind of pointless. Like, what are you doing? You know, if you're not out there, because like there are guys that just get the certifications just to say they got the certification. Like, it is what it is, but at the same time, you not tarnish, dilute more so than anything. You dilute the agent world, and that's what kind of pisses me off the most.
But like you said, kind of, it's like either you're gonna have the players or you're not.
Right. If the guy's not willing,
you're gonna be respected or you're not. So if you're not respected, you're not gonna have the players necessarily. Those two don't exactly correlate. But if you're not respected, chances are somebody's gonna go with another agent, and then those agents are gonna have the players. And then those other agents are just not, and it's like not diluting. It's just that you are the haves and the have-nots. Really.
Well, I mean, even so, I just reread Drew Rosenhaus's book, and even just going off of that, like all these other agents too, the ones that are going after clients, they're talking shit about you. Like they're like, oh, you're talking to such and such. Nah, he's a kid. He doesn't know anything. You know what I'm saying? Like that shit is.
Yeah, it's not a friendly.
No. So that's what I'm saying. Like if you're not out there, putting the work in, you were just saying the respect factor. Shit, don't matter if another agent respects you. Don't make a difference to them. They're gonna talk shit about you either way.
Right.
But at the end of the day, if the players respect you, then that's all that really matters. So that's just one of those things that even on the agency side, it's what we have to deal with.
Right.
Period. Like still introducing myself as Evan Laufer, President, CEO, Laufer Sports Entertainment. It's a whole introduction every time. Even for some of the GMs and stuff that I know, like personally, it's still, hey, Evan, nice to see you. It's not just like, hey, Scott, how are you? Something like that. It's always, hey, Scott, Evan Laufer, how are you? Such and such agent. That's just, again, these guys have, obviously, again, we've talked about it. The main guys, the Siegels and the Rich Pauls and those types of guys, they are the face of the agent world. But it's like, if I'm not putting myself out there to be the next agent, to be the next face, because I'm the young guy. Like, we are the youngest agency, I feel like, by far. I feel like there's some other agents out there. But again, we are one of the few agencies that do it all. Like, we do NFL, we do NBA, we do soccer, NIL, volleyball, tennis. We are one of the few that's not a conglomerate, that's not a CAA, that's not a Wasserman, that doesn't have 25 different agents, executive assistants, stuff like that. Yeah. We just do a lot for a little. Like, that's really what it is. So for us, for this, what we do here, I mean, I always laugh when I tell girls, like, how many jobs I have. They're like, what don't you do? And I'm like, yeah, that's probably the better question is, what don't I do? That's probably a lot easier to answer than what I actually physically 100%. Do. So I just laugh at this point in our careers and how far we've come. I just laugh at it because other agents literally go 2 years and like, all right, out. But again, how many agents just keep coming? They take the test, take the test, take the test, take the test. There's some 40-year-old, oh, I don't know what to do. I'm a lawyer. You know what? Maybe I'll try to go pass this exam. I passed the bar. I can pass the exam. Yeah, you might be able to pass it. Sure. I mean, it's a 51% fail rate, but yeah, maybe you could pass it. You got a 50-50 shot at the end of the day anyway. So good luck to you. So, I mean, you're going to spend $2,500 a year to do nothing with it. So if you can afford that, then, and that's what a lot of guys do. Like, they just pay the annual fee and they won't even go after a client, or they don't, they don't even stuff. They just say, hey, I'm a lawyer, I'm certified in this, I'm certified in that, and that's what they do. But yeah, it's a longer episode than we expected. So, but yeah, I think again, that's a good one. I think at this point for the career path and what we've done and chosen to do, it's kind of one of those things where it is what it is. The game is changing, and we're adapting as well. So, I mean, when I first started, summer league was mask only, couldn't go down to the court, couldn't talk to your players. If you didn't have a vaccine shot, you weren't getting there. Like, it was crazy. I remember I remember the second year, I had to have my mom send me a picture of my vaccine card because they needed it right up front. And I'm like, what? Like, you need to see. I was like, all right, well, here's a picture. Now I got jabbed, so I ain't no booster, but shit. At this point, I just look back and I'm like, why the hell did I do that? So, yeah, right. But yeah, I mean, again, at this point for us and what we're doing, gonna keep this rocking and rolling. I feel like the momentum has. I mean, I don't know if you've been checking, but the following and the likes and stuff have really been getting up there. I mean, with regards to an engagement, I don't know if it's just our algorithms finally starting to pick up now, but between TikTok and, I mean, I think we need a YouTube subscribers. Subscribe. We need subscribe. That's what we really need. That's what I think we need to really, I don't know if we can promo on YouTube, but that's definitely one bigger thing we need to work on. So if you're listening, keep subscribing on Apple and Spotify. But if you're watching and you're on YouTube, subscribe there, because that is what actually, like, that's where I think we're missing the mark. Everything else, like TikTok and Instagram and all the other the short version stuff, is all hitting, but like the further episode, I think that's where we're missing the mark. And I think if you guys just subscribe, I think we'll finally get, because I heard you need to be very consistent in the algorithm of YouTube, or else it like doesn't show on anybody. Right. So I heard that's a huge thing. So we'll keep those coming, the shorts coming. Again, for us, for you guys, please subscribe below. We're gonna come back after summer league. My birthday, we'll do a birthday episode, and then we'll kind of keep you guys up to date on Miami's Pro-Am. We'll probably go down there, do a quick episode, and we have some new clients coming on board in the next couple weeks. So we'll give you guys obviously try to get them on before fall camp at this point. Mm-hmm. I hope, see who's in town still, and then go from there. But again, bring guys on so you can hear their stories and get to know them a little bit more and become fans of them is what we appreciate the most. So thank you so much for joining us for another episode of No Client Agent Privilege, aka No Cap Podcast. It's your boy Will, your boy Evan, and we are out. Peace.